Ever wonder how this ancient Hindu symbol of peace became the infamous face of Nazi terror? Well, let me tell you, it wasn't just random, but points to a deeper truth that most people have no idea about. Indians and Europeans actually share a common origin. These were the Indo-Europeans, and they were among the first peoples to domesticate the horse. With that came something truly revolutionary. They learned to ride, to raid and migrate, and most importantly, to do all of those things fast. Known for their fierce independence, tight-knit clans, and martial prowess, the Indo-Europeans were natural conquerors. Armed with swift cavalry and chariots, they burst out of their traditional homeland in all directions in search of new lands to conquer. And in time, this nomadic superculture split into two great branches: those who went west and those who ventured east. Now, the group that went west, displacing the original prehistoric inhabitants, became the ancestors of what we now call the West. Even to this day, one can still hear the echoes of their legacy across the old continent. Languages like English, French, Spanish, and Russian are all distant cousins of Sanskrit. And it's for this reason that when early European explorers first came to India during the 15th century, they were stunned to discover striking similarities between Sanskrit and Latin and Greek. The other great branch of Indo-Europeans took a different route, heading east and south. They eventually split into two major sub-branches, the Iranians and the Indo-Aryans. The Iranian side gave rise to peoples like the Persians, Medes, and Scythians. Meanwhile, their cousins, the Indo-Aryans, crossed into the Indian subcontinent, bringing with them the sacred hymns, fire rituals, and religious texts that would shape India's classical Vedic age. And yes, this is the same Aryan term that the Nazis later hijacked, twisting an ancient cultural label for their own nefarious uses. But in reality, these Indo-Aryans didn't wipe out the cultures they encountered. They blended with them. And out of that fusion emerged the roots of what we now recognize as India. Foundations for Hinduism, yoga, karma, and so much more. Just like with their Western cousins, the connections run deeper than language. These ancient peoples carried a shared mythological thread that stretched across continents. Zeus Pater in Greek, Jupiter in Latin, Daius Pitar in Sanskrit, and even Perun in Slavic mythology, all echoes of the same ancient steppe deity. So, what does this all mean? It means Indians, as well as Iranians, aren't really Asians, at least not in the East Asian sense, because in reality, they come from something entirely different.